You are listening to the Sit and Slash Horror Movie Podcast.
Welcome to the Sit and Slash Horror Movie Podcast, where four guys talk about who lives and who dies. In horror movies, of course. My name is Colin, and as always, I'm joined by Luke.
Hey, guys.
Jake.
Hello.
And Daniel.
Howdy.
And welcome to the first iteration of Better Left Undead. Now, with this series, what we're planning on doing is we are taking movies that we absolutely hate or have serious problems with in the horror universe, and we are going to try to fix them in the shortest amount of time possible. And after we are done, as we go through our refocusing of the story, each of the guys will vote on their favorite. They are not allowed to vote for their own story. If someone doesn't tell a story because they either forgot to write one or they didn't care to, or they're just going to rip something to shreds, Daniel, then they will just act as a judge. So for this first episode, what we decided to do was to go after a movie that we all hate to our cores and is especially damning to my soul, which is Halloween Ends.
Oh, man. What a moment in history it was when that piece of shit came out.
Well, Luke, why don't you talk about Halloween Ends a little bit?
Okay.
Not you fixing it, just in general.
Okay, so this movie is ass, which is not unusual for the average quality of the Halloween franchise. This movie doesn't need to exist. Neither did its predecessor, to be fair. But at this point, I guess they had to make something to follow Kills, but this movie forgot that it was supposed to be following Halloween Kills. You have a movie where Michael goes on a humongous tear through Haddonfield, and then you get Halloween Ends, which is the one we're talking about, where there's a time skip. They focus on a completely new killer that's not Michael. He's in the movie for about 5 minutes, and then he dies. You're welcome.
Just saved you some time in watching that movie if you have not seen it.
That was extremely general. That was
yes.
I didn't say which killer died. Guess what? But
For those who have not seen the film, please do not see the film. It is not good. It will damage your soul. We are not liable to any damage, mentally or physically, that it causes you.
He used liable correctly in this episode.
Don't watch Halloween after the first one and maybe 2018, but watch Season of the Witch because it's worth it and underrated. But after that, the rest of them just don't bother.
So
good.
In concordance with these types of episodes, we will be introducing one specific role in our rewrites. And for Halloween Ends, we have to keep Corey, the character, involved. If you don't know who Corey is a character who in the movie accidentally kills a young boy and is bullied for it, and then becomes a prodigy to Michael Myers. And Michael apparently has this new power where he touches somebody and he knows their entire past and sees that he's a broken individual.
They gazed into each other's loving eyes.
Yes.
Super romantic.
It was quite the time for both Michael and Corey. So the rule is we have to keep Corey, the character, in the story. It doesn't have to be the exact same character arc, but he has to play a role in this story of rewriting. So without further ado, let's kick off Better Off Undead with Mr. Luke on his changes to Halloween Ends.
Okay, so I will admit, for some of my ideas, I'm ripping off another horror movie that is a much more entertaining movie, in my opinion. And so the first thing I will say that I will change, before I really start to piece together how this is a ripoff, by the way, my idea is a ripoff. It'll be okay, though. It's more palatable than the movie. But my first change that I would make, the opening of the movie of regular Halloween Ends is after the first two movies, right?
Yes.
With the babysitter. Okay. I would change that. That's the very first thing I changed. Change the opener. I would put the opener directly after Halloween Kills. Same night. That is my first change. The fact that it starts in the middle of nowhere in the story now immediately made the movie disjointed from the previous two. So the very first thing I would do is that, because that will then tie it together, because this is supposed to be a trilogy. This movie forgot that.
Despite its best efforts.
Yeah, seriously. And so that is the very first change I would make. The second thing, the character of Corey. When we see him in the movie, he's already like a young adult, right? I would have him instead be younger in the opening than he is. I would have him maybe be like preteen, even much younger. I would have him like not be that old, maybe like a kid, not like super young of a kid, but have him be a kid, not be a babysitter anymore. But this is where I'm going to keep the arc similar. And you're going to see how I'm going to tie this together. It's going to be a little sloppy tying this together, but you know what? It'll still be neater than the movie already is. So opens on the same night. So it's Halloween 2018. That's the night. Okay. So that is the night. Maybe make him like, I don't know, 11 or 12 years old or something. And my second change is that, and this is going to be a big, big change. I would, in the opening, believe it or not, you know, Michael's going on his rampage. We're in the middle of Halloween. We're after 2018 and kills. You want to know what I would do? Michael dies in the opener.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Michael dies in the opener.
So we're...
But he dies epically. It needs to be like he dies in the Myers house in the opener. Somehow. Whether it's the mob succeeding. Screw you, Halloween Kills. I'd probably, considering the rampage, I would tie Corey into Michael's death somehow. Instead of them working together, tie Corey to his death. Because that would be very traumatizing for a little kid. And now I think you're starting to see where I'm starting to pull a little bit of a ripoff here, right? Because I'll tell you who I'm kind of connecting this to. Tommy Jarvis, Friday the 13th, Part 4.
Mm.
Oh,
yeah, I see what you're trying to do here. Yeah.
My thing is like, isn't one of the cardinal sins like you're getting rid of the special attraction?
Well, yeah, no, I know that. You said change the movie.
Bar is literally rock bottom. We can only go up from here.
You said to change it, and I would give Michael a much more dignified death, even if it's at the beginning, because he is wasted for the movie. So I'm just going off
screen time.
It would. So I'm keeping the Corey idea. See, except I'm kind of pulling the Tommy Jarvis thing from Part 4. And so that is the opener. Corey has a hand in Michael's death. Put it in the Myers house. Why not? Maybe he was a kid misbehaving there. Michael winds up there. Everyone tracks him down.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So that is how that would start. Piss the hell out of people. That would just piss people off massively. Go against the advertisements for the movie. But hey, the advertisements were a lie. So my plan would be more honest than anything else that movie did. So that's the first thing. First two things. One, keep the Corey arc, but make him younger and make it the same night as the two movies that came before it. Second, kill Michael in the opening. Directly tie those things together. Now, the third thing, and this one will surprise you guys as well in terms of something I'm keeping. I would keep the time skip. Keep the time skip. And I would actually modify it. I would go more extreme with the time skip. I would actually, instead of it being a 4-ish year time skip, because Corey is young in my plan, maybe like 10 or 11, 12, however, roughly around there, make it like a good 6 or 7 year time skip so that he's like a young adult, like 18 or 19, possibly even 21, maybe around there. And I'll tell you why. That's how old Michael was in the original Halloween.
Okay.
So we have a correlation there. I'm doing that on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And so, obviously, as time has gone on, Corey's messed up from that. You know, rampage, probably had family members and friends die in Michael's rampage. I mean, when you add up the kill count from Halloween 2018 and kills, it is ridiculous. He killed something like 50 people, I think.
I'll say, I looked it up earlier today. I do believe that just in kills alone, he killed 34 people. Let me just
And
check. 31,
and-
my bad.
and he killed a lot in 2018, so close to 50 people. Maybe
Yes.
have him kill a few other people in the intro. It's Michael Myers. And so several years have passed. Corey's messed up. And the thing is, because he's messed up, the town, what's left of it, for one thing, I would kind of make the town like derelict after this has happened, kind of. Like make it poorer, make some places close. There's still people living there, but like everyone, like a lot of people got out of Dodge. A lot of places are closed because the owners died from the Michael stuff. But people are kind of more like, okay, this place, we don't like it here. It's messed up. We don't like the history of what happened on Halloween just a few years
Yeah.
ago, or however many years ago. Let's say 8 years ago. That's my time skip.
Which
Corey's
is definitely
Huh?
sorry to interrupt, which is definitely a big point, and this might be a spoiler for mine, but the fact that they all it literally looked like it was like one of those commercials where they're like, "Oh, just take this medicine and everything's better," and it's all sunshine and rainbows, even though these people died. Not even like I don't even remember what the time skip was when it came to the original movie.
Yeah, it's insane. And so I would have the town be a little bit more derelict, make it kind of Detroit looking. Um, and I would have Corey. The thing is, so he's about the age Michael was when he broke out of Smith's Grove in the original.
Mhm.
And the thing is, not only is he messed up, but the people that stayed and remember that messed up night have a stigma against him because he had a hand in how Michael died. He's been messed up ever since. And they have a stigma against quote unquote freaks because Michael was one of them. And look at what he did. And so that kind of plays on him. And this is where, again, I kind of pull Friday the 13th a little bit. Eventually, you know how Michael is just a monster that he just is? He
Yes.
just is the way he is. He's just pure evil.
Mhm.
I'm taking a different approach to Corey. He'll do the same stuff as Michael. He'll go around butchering people like Michael. But they made him that way. Because that's the whole thing they were trying to go for in ends is, oh, poor Corey. Oh, he got made in this. Whereas in this one, like, you got to do more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, I know that that's not the most realistic thing ever. Still better than what the original movie is. But I'm taking the Friday the 13th Part 5 approach for this part. I started with Part 4, continuing with Part 5 here. So I'm continuing the Tommy Jarvis-esque arc, where in Part 5 in Friday the 13th, they played with the idea, and you guys know this, of is Tommy going to snap? They played with that. Like he saw hallucinations of Jason. At the end, it looked like he did, but that was a fake out. And then the actual end, it kind of looked like he did, but Part 6 ignored that. That's fine. So I'm doing like the what if of like, what if Tommy actually did snap? Except I'm doing it for Corey for my concept. So that is the next big point I would make. So yeah, time skip, people moved out. And so I would so there's quite a bit I'm keeping. I'm just like modifying it.
Mhm.
And so it's basically Friday the 13th Part 5 for Halloween is what it is. And I know Friday the 13th Part 5 is not like a great movie. Underrated. I already said that. But that is what my general plan is that again, there's a lot more going into making him into this other than this like feeling of I'm edgy and I don't like these people like that we got in
and I have a motorcycle and
and I
I'm
have a
bad
motorcycle
boy.
and a girlfriend. Yeah, no, screw all that. No, he's damaged. He doesn't have a motorcycle. He doesn't have a love interest. Make him even maybe physically messed up from like scars from like, I don't know, an encounter with Michael that he had the night Michael died. So basically, they make him into what he is. Still, that's still the case, but there's a lot more context going into it because he was traumatized way younger and has now had close to a decade of just complete like social abuse.
Mhm.
And he does eventually lose it. It's a derelict place. It's lonely-ish. Again, it's basically Detroit. There's just a lot going into it. I know that that's kind of simplified, but yeah, that's my general plan. I'd kind of merge the end of Friday the 13th Part 4 with like the what if of Friday the 13th Part 5 and just put the Halloween skin over it. That's my plan.
So in your kind of story here, do you think that then the battle becomes between Allison and Corey, Lori and Corey, Allison and Lori and Corey, and like, does he survive this movie so they can continue the series with Corey as the new guy, or does he end it and that's literally Halloween ends?
Well, considering the track record of this series when it comes to sequels, just let it be dead.
Yeah. Amen, dude. I agree 100%.
Just there you go. That's my plan. That's all. Take a hint, Halloween. Take the hint.
It's over.
Good reference.
Yes.
Good reference.
Yes. Absolutely. Yeah.
Just throw in Bruce Campbell into this movie somehow. It'll make it 10 times better.
He's the mayor and is like, no, it's not that bad. And things are that bad. I could see him pull that off. Anyway, yeah, for the final fight, I don't really give a shit. Maybe maybe Allison, so that it's kind of like a little bit of a
the second generation.
Yeah, don't make Lori do it. She's old. So
then it'll be Halloween, the second generation. The next movie.
The next generation. Yeah.
Oh god.
So no, Halloween, a new beginning. Nah.
Oh god.
Okay.
A new hope.
That's all. Okay, yeah. So that's my plan. Take the end of part 4 from Friday the 13th with Tommy. Just make it Corey. And then this movie is Friday the 13th, part 5. If it actually was Tommy who was the killer. But again, just make it Corey. That's my plan.
All right. So, general thoughts from the guys?
I like it. I think it's a bold decision to kill off Michael in the beginning of a movie, especially since, obviously I've stated, Michael Myers, and he's not my favorite slasher in the world, but I feel like his like impact on horror in general, he's got to be the most like notable, most memorable slasher of all time. So to see him get killed off in the beginning of a movie, I feel like people would not be necessarily happy about that. But if they knew the alternative of Halloween Ends, maybe they would actually go with it and be like, you know what, fuck it, we're gonna ride it out and see how this one goes. But I like the idea though. I like Corey not being as much of like a woe is me, and woe is me, and more of a I am damaged and I'm here for revenge type deal. But
yeah,
Jake?
I guess. Oh yeah, Jake, what do you have to say?
It's better.
That's the seal of approval. That's one of the seals of approval right there.
So
Jake is a bigger fan of Halloween.
I think I'm like either the first or second biggest fan of Halloween here. It's definitely competition, I would say, with Cohen, but I will say, honestly, Mercy killing Michael is probably the best thing you can do with this film at this point, because the way he's depicted in Ends, he's literally an old hobo that gets dunked on by Corey before they have the intimate moment of understanding.
Or they fall in love.
Yeah, and it's just, on one hand, the fact that you kill such an important character reminds me of another film, Resurrection, which I also vehemently despise. But on the other hand, at this point, it's Mercy. You can't. And I do like the angle that you take. It also wouldn't be the first time that Halloween takes a little lessons from Friday the 13th. Halloween 2. But,
that is a Friday the 13th movie. So is Kills.
Oh yeah, and also Kills. But I mean, it's better. It works. It's not edgy.
That's, if we can get to not edgy, we have accomplished something.
Mine was just my whole thing is just depressing. You honorably, mercifully, sadly kill the horror villain icon right at the beginning, and then it's just depressing for the main character, who then goes on and brutalizes people. It's just mine's just very depressing.
All right. So with that ending right there, we're going to take a small little break here, and we will get back and we will hear another retake of my least favorite horror movie of all time. So we'll be right back.
Hey, horror fans, it's me, Ari Lehman, the first Jason Voorhees from Friday the 13th, and you are listening to the Sit and Slash Horror Movie Podcast. Hit the follow button if you love horror movie content. Jason never dies.
All right, welcome back to the podcast where we are doing Better Left Undead, where we are focusing on Halloween Ends, one of the worst horror movies of all time, in my opinion, the worst horror movie of all time. I don't care what anybody says. And we just heard Luke's take. If you missed that take, make sure you rewind the podcast to hear his take on how we can fix this movie. And we did not get edgy, so we definitely we accomplished something today. So next, I do believe on the chopping block to get started is Daniel.
Yeah. So I'm gonna be real, did not prepare a ton of this, but I have been thinking for a while, for like the past, like ever since we started this, I have been thinking in my head of ways that you could change the movie to make it salvageable. Because I'm gonna be real, I am not a fan of the Halloween franchise that much. I like the
'Cause he's a
first
bitch.
I like the first two. I like 2018. I like Season of the Witch. That's about it. I don't really like it. 4 is okay, but I don't know. Everything else is just kind of lackluster. But anyway, I think that if you want to change this movie, I think you got to change stuff with the entire trilogy because there are little issues sprinkled out throughout. Well, little, then they become big issues sprinkled out throughout the entire trilogy. Something that I think about is actually not a way to deal with the Corey Michael thing, but something that bothered me about the movie that I think should be changed is something to do with Laurie, actually. I believe the time gap between the original Halloween and 2018 it's 40 years, right?
Yes, yeah.
And so I almost feel like the writing for Laurie between both movies with 2018, actually 2018 Kills and Ends, all three, I feel like the writing for her was very inconsistent and just not very well fleshed out. And I almost think that what you should do with her is they should have flip-flopped how they wrote her in Ends in 2018, where they should have wrote her as like in 20 it seems like in Ends she kind of like got over things more and was more like moved on from what I remember.
Which makes no sense, by the way. Just adding to your
Exactly.
point, I'm going to add context because she was like Sarah Connor 40
Mhm.
years after the original Halloween, where Michael killed a handful of people, like what, like 5?
Yeah.
And so then on the night of Halloween 2018, not just the movie, the night of Halloween 2018, which encompasses the movies Halloween 2018 and Kills, like I said in my thing at the beginning, he kills like 50 people in one night.
Yeah.
One being her daughter.
Exactly. So
And what does she say? You have to go through life with your tits out or something like that?
does she actually say that? I can't
Yeah.
remember. I didn't remember that. Oh man.
I know that she
Right
said
at the beginning
something.
in the kitchen.
She said something about tits. I know that for a fact. I remember.
My
I mean, it
bad.
is a horror. It is a slash movie. They have to have tits.
I don't want to see Laurie Strode's tits after how old is she? Like
Oh,
Well,
I
I'll
wanna
look up
remember
Jamie Lee
this
Curtis's
movie.
age. Hold on.
no, it's
Oh.
fine. That's fine. Let's
don't
just
worry
keep
about it
going.
anyway.
Keep going,
But
Dan.
I would 100% I would have switched the approach that they took and I would have had her moved on in 2018 and less like suspecting of what's going to happen, and I'd have her more Sarah Connor bunker secret entrance into the basement prepared in Ends, cuz like the difference between 5 and 50, I mean, I guess you see one person get killed, it messes you up for life, but like it's just I don't know. So much chaos happened in 2018 in Kills. You feel like you would be more like, "Oh my god, I need to like prepare." Also the fact that like I don't know, like I feel with Kills ending like Kills did not have a happy ending. So it's just like I mean, I guess technically the original didn't either. He, was shot, fell, looked out, he was gone. But Kills definitely did not have a happy ending. And I feel like that would constitute more of like a, fight or flight lifestyle.
So your
so
first big change to the plot is just Laurie.
Yeah, I think that was one of my biggest issues actually. Aside from the Corey Michael stuff, I'll talk about that now in a second. But
man.
that would be my biggest change with at least Laurie because like I know you follow Allison a bit in like the earlier on, and then that kills happens, and then I don't know, just with Laurie, that she's always been the figurehead of the franchise, and I feel like they never know what to do with her ever since the original. Like they either throw her in a hospital, or they make her crazy, or they make her move on, but then it never ends up working. So, um, with the Michael and Corey thing, I was thinking about like the possibility of there not being a time jump, but I also do think that there should be a time jump, maybe. And I actually agree with Luke that there should be a significant time jump. Like I'm talking like longer than 8 years, maybe like, I don't know, maybe like 10 or so, maybe even longer. I'm not sure exactly, but an idea that I had, also ripping off another horror movie, was to almost have Corey act as like I'm gonna take a reference here from one of my favorite horror franchises, which is Saw, to almost act as like an Amanda type character, where Michael becomes so old and brittle that it just turns into Corey like doing stuff for Michael almost. Now I know that would do a disservice to Michael, and that he wouldn't have an honorable death like Luke's had, but I feel like having an approach where it's like Michael is still a presence and still a threat, but yet you have somebody like almost doing some of his bidding for him, and it's not out of like maybe like, oh, these kids bullied me and now I'm depressed and this and that. It's like this guy maybe it's like Michael tried to kill him and he lived like Amanda, and now it's almost like he has like this obsession with like just Michael Myers as like an entity. um and so I think maybe handling it that way might be I don't know if it'd be a better approach if it was fleshed out, but I do think it'd be an interesting one. um
Like you'd say he'd be like killing people to like please Michael or something, or think he is.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't exactly know. I feel like, because I don't know what Michael's true biddings are though. That's the issue. Is like he is like a
That is the
killer with
point.
no
He's
aim.
Yeah, that's true. He just does it for the sake of doing it because he can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Evil!
and Halloween Kills kind of established the idea that he's trying to go home to his house, and that didn't really stay throughout the whole movie. So
Yeah.
it was like, oh, he wants to go. I think it was if it was the sheriff, he was like, he wants to go home, and then he goes home, and then that's
I
it.
like I like the Dan idea of just the house, Michael headquarters, baby.
I think it'd be kind of funny. I don't know. Like I don't know. I think it would be hard to see that working out well. But to be honest with you, it would be hard to see anything work out well with Corey as a character. I really wish he wasn't even a character, because his existence in the franchise is just, I don't know. It felt like such a bad idea to me to even add him into the last movie of a trilogy. If they were going to like have another killer, they should have brought him in earlier in the trilogy. Maybe like slowly crept him in over like a movie or two span, not just like Michael in the first one, Michael in the second one, oh, Corey in the third one. Like I don't know.
Bad decision, Mark.
Seriously. But I don't know. I think it'd be an interesting approach to have like, again, Corey take more of like the forefront, and like, because that was the other thing that pissed me off with the movie, is that like they marketed it as like this is the final showdown between Laurie and Michael, and then yeah, they had it, I guess, but it just, the whole movie was just Corey, 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 and then Michael in the last like 20 minutes. And
If
Five.
that.
yeah, if that. If they were to take Corey as like just full on, this is Corey's movie, then I feel like, I don't know, I just feel like it would have ended better. I feel like it wouldn't have misled audiences. It wouldn't have like, I don't think it would have gained as much traction though if it didn't have Michael Myers in the media coverage and whatnot, because people are going to be like, this is a Halloween movie. Where's Michael Myers? It already
Kind of
happened
like the
once.
season
Season
witch.
of the Witch. Yeah. Which is, I hate to compare Halloween Ends to Season of the Witch,
Well,
because
I'm glad you brought that up, because if you remember on purpose, the font in this movie was blue slanted font, and the only other Halloween movie to use blue slanted font in its credits was Halloween 3. So Halloween Ends kind of took that into account already. Screw that movie.
I
We
also
love
think
Halloween 3.
yeah, we love Halloween 3. I think Halloween 3 is amazing. That'll be a discussion for another day. But I think that another decision that they should have made and this may have been a bold one, but honestly, I think it would have been the best for the franchise. They should have killed Laurie somehow. I don't know how, but as long as she lives, they're gonna. I don't know. I feel like that aren't they gonna try to make another like Halloween movie?
No, there's no
Really?
plans. It's
Oh, I
actually
thought
dead
there
right now.
was. Oh,
No,
thank
it's
God.
dead. Also, Dan, just
Okay.
a comment. Do you remember what happened the last time they killed
But
Lori? What movie that
but
was? That
that
was
was
Resurrection.
that was the beginning of the movie, and then they had what was it Busta Rhymes? Uh, karate kick. Was it Busta Rhymes in the movie?
Yeah, it was. It
Yeah,
was.
they had
So
Busta
wait.
Rhymes karate kick him out of a window.
So Dan, so for killing Lori, are you suggesting like she like goes out in a blaze of glory and like takes out the evil with her or something?
Something like that, yeah. I don't exactly know how. I'd have to think more on that, but like something to where everyone is dead. All three of them are dead, and that way it can end, and it can be truly Halloween ends. Because I
don't you know in slashers it never ends.
I know, but like, dude, they gotta at some point. I mean,
How many?
I don't know how else they would continue the franchise. I mean, this slasher franchise, I think it's the largest slasher franchise,
It
isn't it?
is 13 movies.
Yeah. So there's got to be an end at some point. Like maybe they'll do some reboot years later with no Lori in it anymore because I don't remember the actress's name right now. Why am I
Jamie
blanking?
Lee Curtis.
Thank you. She might be dead by the next time they
She's
make this one.
66.
Well, maybe not, but probably out of acting by then though, maybe. Because if they
Yeah,
bring her back again,
she's not going to be in it again. I know that. This was
no
it for
way.
her.
No
Could you
way.
imagine? Could you imagine they come out with a new one like years ahead, and it's like Michael had an illegitimate child.
Oh my god.
Speaking
That
of
was
Michael having illegitimate children,
Well,
Halloween 6.
It's funny you say that because I thought it'd be really funny if like Corey. I thought about this as another ending. I'll say real quick, but I vetoed not to say this, but I'll say it now. Is that they reveal Corey as like some distant member of the Cult of Thorns, and they just like retcon that story into it.
Oh Lord,
Cor-
Dan's
like,
trolling.
the end of Halloween Kills, like Corey shows up and he reveals he has like the thorn tattoo, and then it goes into ends. And it's like,
Dan's gone insane.
dude, I think it'd be really funny, but I would not like that at all. The Cult of Thorns stuff was
Dan-
so stupid.
Dan,
but-
this is about making changes to make it better.
I know. That's why I said I wasn't gonna say it. But I thought of that and thought, how that'd be funny, but bad.
Okay.
Well, Halloween 6 is better than Ends, but that's all I'm saying. I'll pass it on to people.
That
who
also,
know
you're
more.
literally the guy
Yeah.
saying it needs to die. Well, that timeline died, so leave it.
Exactly, but they still keep making those movies, dude. And man.
All right, quick thoughts from the guys. Personally, from me, Dan, you didn't really have a story, but I think that you you pointed out things within the trilogy that I think are important to talk about, and some of the things that you did mention do come up in mine.
Mhm.
I just want Corey to die and stay
Yeah.
dead. Like I will get to my rant when it's my turn, and I'm not going to do it now.
I will
Yeah.
say what I found was interesting, Dan, with your approach compared to mine, and we'll see in a bit compared to the other guys, is I like that you took more of a protagonist approach. You
Mhm.
focused more on the forces of good for yours than the forces of evil. I do like how for your change for like you kind of went full circle with your change for Corey. You're like, well, maybe Michael's this decrepit old guy and Corey's doing his bidding. In my head, I was kind of like, that's the movie.
No, but like I don't know. It's not I don't know how they would change it, but I'd want it to be different than what they did it. But like I don't know. I was thinking of other horror movies that had a similar like situation like that, and I was like, man, Saw pulled it off, right? I don't know how they did it like better, but they did it better because it was just better source material for that type of story.
Yeah.
Like Michael Myers did not need a protege. There was in no world in
No.
shape or form that he needed a protege.
Right. And so I do agree. I like that I like your approach with changing the Lori stuff though. I thought
Mhm.
that was actually you did a pretty good job flushing that out, I think.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Jake?
I agree with the Lori mostly, even if it would kind of rob us of some of the awesome scenes in 2018. But with the Michael, one thing I was noticed I think this also came up when making my rewrite, is that it's hard to have both Corey and Michael in the same script acting as the killer because they literally conflict each other. One cannot be with the other. That's why I hate the "oh, we need to have Corey in the script" rule so much. Because my
I
first
Sorry.
idea was just kill Corey, but I won't kill Corey yet. But yeah.
I think the most satisfying part of that movie is the fact that Corey does get killed by Michael.
Yeah,
I
imagine
feel
like
bad. I feel
Or no,
bad
he's killed
for
by Lori. Or no, he's killed by Allison.
No, he's killed by
no,
all of them.
he
All
Oh, yeah,
three.
sure.
doesn't he try to kill himself?
No, he tries to
No.
kill. No, he tries to kill Lori. She shoots the fuck out of him.
Oh, okay.
And
I
then
couldn't-
And
like
Michael finishes him
Allison
off.
I think Allison like stabbed him too, and then like he's looking to Michael like almost like Dr. Sartain in like in the 2018 one, and then Michael just kills him.
I
uh,
see.
I'm pretty sure.
Sorry, Jake.
So before we get into the next rewrite, which is Jake, we are going to take another small break, and we'll be right back to hear Jake's rewrite.
Hey, are you enjoying the podcast? If so, drop this podcast a follow. For updates and announcements, check out our Instagram page at sit/HMP. Thanks for listening.
All right, welcome back to Better Left Undead, where we are exploring Halloween Ends, and I'll say it, I've already said it a couple of times, I'm going to say it again, the worst horror movie of all time. And we only have two guys left that need to do their rewrite, so Jake, you are up to bat, my friend. Let's see what you got.
all right. So there's a bit of the film that gets reworked with mine. One of the few things that doesn't is actually the opening scene. Although I would change the color of the opening font. It would be orange, as God intended.
Off to a good start.
But child dies. Corey looks responsible. The only thing is, with this film, with my rewrite, the setting's a little different. Everybody goes to fucking prison in this one. Instead, Corey goes to jail. Michael gets caught after kills, ends up going into prison. They try to kill him, put him on death row. Nothing works for some reason. I don't know why. But yeah.
This is great already. I actually really like where this is going. It's already really interesting. I wasn't expecting the prison out of left field thing. That's awesome, Jake. Please keep going.
Well, they would move Michael if he didn't break out of transit so many times. Well, he broke out of transit once, but they probably, I don't know, something about they never figured out how he did it because Sartain died.
That's true. That's true.
But anyway, what matters is that Corey is in prison. Michael is in the same prison because he won't die and they don't want to move him anywhere. So, Corey does not like the prison. He wants to escape the prison. He sees Michael in the prison and thinks, hey, what if that guy gets let loose? That's probably the best distraction ever. So he lets Michael free. Michael goes on a rampage. Corey basically tries to escape the prison. And basically, my idea is just Halloween Ends take place in this dark, decrepit prison with no power. Nut jobs running everywhere, just trying to avoid Michael. Michael's killing everyone he comes across. And then the gang in Haddonfield, Allison, Lori, whatnot, whoever survived kills. Which isn't a lot, to be honest with you. Which is sad, but, you know, that's what kills did. I can't change kills, I don't have that authority. But basically, they've been prepping because they're traumatized after kills. Because, as we went over previously, why the fuck would you not be traumatized after kills? So, the gang rolls up, Halloween 4 militia style, except better organized because watching the militia in 4 was just painful.
And in Kills, for that matter, the writing for the mafia.
Kills was even worse.
The dialogue was Evil dies tonight.
No, it doesn't. Halloween Ends, set for release 2022. All right, sorry.
Actually, that is a
Sorry.
good point. I will use this to my advantage. They learn from kills. They realize, oh, we need to actually be organized. So anyways, what matters is that the gang pulls up on the prison. And they're trying to organize a search in the prison to find Michael and kill Michael somehow before he escapes and goes to Haddonfield. So, fine details aside, because I did not think of the fine details, that's all the way up until, like, the middle of the movie. Shit goes down in the prison. Corey realizes he fucked up. He basically goes to reverse his mistake of letting out the Michael. Pretty much tries to lure Michael into a cell, sacrifices himself. He gets killed. The militia finds Michael. Basically, they shoot him down, and then while he's down, they blow him up. They plant bombs and blow him up into a million pieces.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, we're back to Friday the 13th. Now it's the beginning of Jason Goes to Hell.
Corey fucking dies. Michael dies even harder. And altogether, Halloween is ended.
That's it?
Are you yielding your time? Okay. All right.
So
Can I be honest? Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. No, you go.
All right. I love that. I actually loved every second of that. For one, Jake, the idea of putting it in a prison is actually ingenious because of the fact that is like the one setting, aside from Rob Zombie, that we didn't get enough of. We did not get enough of Michael not escaped. I wanted more of him when he was actually being held captive. So the fact that you've now made it, he's even dangerous when he is captive, and it's just like a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation with Michael, that's awesome.
It's also a good place.
Go ahead, Dan.
I was just gonna say it's also a good place to have another massacre take place where it doesn't feel like Haddonfield is taking yet another bombshell, like kill whatever. This is like it's a prison, plenty of people to be killed. It could be plenty of carnage candy for those who want it.
My main thing. I'm sorry to cut you off, Colin, but the main thing I based it off of. What was the best scene for me in 2018? It was easily the house clearing scene. It was the house clearing scene, bar none, because of the sheer tension, the unfamiliarity of the place, close quarters. Michael could be anywhere. And I think if you arrange it right, you could do that with a dark prison without its power. Let alone, there are loonies. Well, maybe not loonies. That's a little bit mean. But there are fuckers running around the place.
Loonies of mean fuckers. That says
fuckers.
I'm sure they do that there. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Colin, you were saying?
Yeah, no, I'm echoing what Luke said. Like, I think one thing that could have definitely been interesting to see is him in the prison, just like you, and like how you said, like, I don't know why they wouldn't have tried to put him on death row. Maybe they're too scared to move him off that place. Like, maybe they're too scared to even move him from one facility to another to do the death row, because I doubt Haddonfield has a death row prison. So I think that could be the way they keep him in there. And the big thing with Corey is it's an act of desperation that eventually bites him in the ass. And it actually gives a reason for Corey to exist, which he didn't have in to begin with.
Yeah.
And it gives a unique setting, so I applaud you.
Yeah, put this guy in the writer's room.
Something else I want to say that's awesome, just consider this about Jake's concept too, is that just given the material that Jake has given us, so it's a unique setting, it's a unique environment for Michael. Well, it's not a unique environment. It's turning a familiar environment for Michael on its head. That's brilliant. Giving Corey a reason to exist. You could have him like fight for his life against like other inmates so that he's you could keep that kind of killer side of him a little.
Yeah.
Given the just danger of the situation of it being a prison that's just broke loose because of Michael. Here's something that we didn't consider with Jake's concept that I just think would be honestly really cool. Given the fact that this is a prison, could you just imagine just no mask, jumpsuit, prison Michael, scarred Michael going around?
And then you still don't see his face because it's in the shadows.
Like
Exactly.
Jake right now.
Yeah, like Jake right now. Yeah, that's funny.
Anyway, that I loved that, Jake. Honestly, dude, that's awesome. That was really good.
Short, sweet, and to the point. I appreciate it. So, with that being said, we have one rewrite left, and that is mine. However, we are going to take one last final break before that happens, and then I can finally sink my teeth into this god-awful Forsaken movie. So, we will be right back with... I'm still looking at Jake in the dark with his rubber duck. I know that the viewers can't see this, but it is quite entertaining. We'll be back with better...
What did he just say?
We'll be right back with Better Left Undead.
Hey, are you enjoying the podcast? Head over to YouTube at sit/horror movie podcast and subscribe for more horror movie content. Thanks for listening.
All right, welcome back to Better Left Undead. We just heard Jake's amazing 5 to 6 minute rewrite of Halloween Ends. And now I'm giving this small allotted amount of time to myself to say just how much I hate this movie. This movie is the bane of my existence. It makes fun of me in every single situation there is. It makes fun of my career. It makes fun of my favorite movies. It makes fun of my favorite character. And I just need to get that off my chest because, dear God, did I hate this movie. And not only did I see this movie and absolutely hate it, I saw it with my crazy ex. So that made it 10 times worse. Plain and simple. So... without further ado, I present my rewrite. So kind of different from the rest of the guys, my big thing is even though where I agree that the time jumps should still stay, I actually want to make it shorter. I want to make it where instead of everybody going back to normal, like some of us have already talked about, I want this to be the most paranoid situation of Haddonfield. I want it to be martial law. Everybody's boarding up their windows, boarding up their doors, locking themselves into place, pandemic style shots of like empty streets, delivery to food places that are really quick. They drop off the food and they run, like things of that nature.
So just kind of pivoting off of mine a little, but not entirely, because mine is just, it's kind of more empty. Yes. And like people left. Yours is just straight up like...
I want people to be scared to leave their houses to even move.
Nice.
Because when you think about it this way, look how much you have to go inside your house and outside and keeping the doors unlocked to move out of a house. There are so many, there's boxes where people can hide, there's things that can happen. And I want this to go full paranoia mode. I want to see Allison and Lori mourning their losses. Wow, crazy idea. That Allison misses her mom and dad who have been killed. Oh, who else? Her 2 best friends and her boyfriend that she made up with in Halloween Kills. Oh, and the boyfriend's friend, the guy that got hooked in the chin in the 2018. By the way, 2018 is one of my favorite Halloween movies ever and favorite scary movies of all time. So to have the shift from 2018 to Ends is literally the bane of my existence. But anyways, and this might be a little too on the nose for what's going on in our world right now, is that because of the paranoia that's going on in the world right now, people are having to loot. People are having to break into certain areas, steal food, and kind of have this underground way. Nobody's allowed into Haddonfield. Nobody's allowed out of Haddonfield because the police are like, this has become a large-scale investigation. Because when you think about it, we've already talked about it, 50 plus people have died in one night. One night. The national authorities would be involved somehow, and that's where I think the martial law concept comes in. And
so you're going Sorry, go ahead, Jake.
Sorry, Luke. Weren't they already involved in 2018 kills to a degree?
That was just the sheriff's department.
Yeah, it wasn't federal. Colin, your idea kind of reminds me of another horror movie a little. It's giving me like Town That Dreaded Sundown vibes in a way, and I really like that approach.
So and going further with this, I'm going to disagree with Dan in this sense. I want the Laurie from 2018 back for this movie because I think it was fantastic in 2018.
Well, I
I know
think
you
that it
want
should
that,
have
but you
been.
think
Yeah.
that 2018 should be what the Halloween Kills and Ends character was more like. I think it should have stayed the same the entire time. I think because Laurie was never proven wrong. This kept happening and nobody proved her wrong, so she has the right to be paranoid. She has now lost her daughter to this killer, and I want her to go full balls to the wall, training Allison and being like, you need to be ready for this. And they want revenge. They want to avenge the deaths of their family members, not come out here and say, look, take life by the tits and move forward and wear your cute necklace with your dead parents' wedding rings. Oh, how sweet. So yeah, that's my main point of how this movie is to begin. There's not a big time jump just because there needs to be growing pains. There needs to be like this like horrible dark time because it ends. This is the end kind of situation. Now I get to Corey. I am not taking Corey the killer as Corey the killer in my story. I'm actually making him a protagonist. And I want
That's a radical change.
I want him to be tied into 2018 somehow. And this is what I came up with. Corey, I want him to be not a fan of Michael's who becomes fucking nuts. I want him to be an obsessive journalist that finds the tapes of the original journalist in 2018. Those two that got killed in the gas station.
Oh, yeah, the British couple.
Yes. I want him to somehow find their tapes because I'm sure they would have posted it. You saw them like finishing up the recording and posting it.
They were doing a podcast, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's dark in my room. But anyways, you can have him have that love interest with Allison because, you know, she's part of the story. He's obsessed with this story. But it doesn't have to be this like, oh, I'm edgy and I'm a bad boy. Like, no, it can just be, I heard about your case. I want to know more about it. And him kind of become the, like, a little bit annoying and a little insensitive about it at first, but kind of becoming a part of this situation too. And, you know, he finds the recordings and their mission is like the mission of this movie is simple. Let this end. It is called Halloween Ends. Let's devise a plan to make this end. For fuck's sake. I put that in my notes. It says for fuck's sake.
All four of us agreed on that. That's the number one thing we all share.
Yeah.
And the thing is I think that what we need to have in this particular rewrite is they need to fail first. They need to have a moment where they try to get revenge and they go too brash, they go too emotional, and they fail. Nobody dies, but they almost do. Like they barely just make it out with their lives. And this is where I think Corey becomes a specific character because of his journalism skills. I'm surprised I'm keeping this, but it came into my mind and I like it. Michael still has his little underground hiding place because it's martial law. He has to hide. He has to be calculated in this situation. I want Corey to be able to investigate it so much that he becomes interested in Michael and almost feels bad for him because when you think of Michael's past, it is a dark and sad past for a child to go through. But he finds out where Michael is. And while Laurie and Allison are recovering from their failure, he goes out by himself because he kind of wants to be the hero for Allison in a way. And he finds the place. And when he gets there, Michael is gone. Michael's not there. The place is empty except one drawn map on the wall. And it is circled where Laurie's house is. Because Laurie is, according to 2018, the main reason Michael is coming back. He sees her and he is back for like gets fixated with her again because she's the one that got away. And Corey puts 2 and 2 together and he's like, oh shit, he's heading there. Like he knows where they are because he never went to Allison's house. Like he doesn't necessarily know where it is, but somehow he found out that's where Laurie is and he wants to end this too. So Michael isn't there. He sees the map. He tries to run. And as soon as we see that map is seen, we cut back to Laurie and Allison recovering. And obviously Laurie's older, so she's a little bit more banged up. And then you just hear slowly Michael kind of teasing with the windows. Like you see his shadow. You start to hear like the boards being taken down. You start to hear like knocking at the door and like trying to get in. And he just slowly stalks the house. Make this a psychologically distressing moment because it should be. It's fucking Michael Myers. Like He is the stalking killer. Let him be, because that's what was missing in Kills. He didn't stalk for shit. He
No,
went
he
on
was
a
Jason
rampage.
Voorhees in a Michael costume.
Yes. And in Ends, dear God, what a waste of a perfectly good character. He was an old man that got beaten up by basically a teenager who barely hit puberty. Like, it was so sad.
Especially since it's James Dude Courtney, who is arguably the best Myers actor we've ever had.
Exactly. And then as this make it go really quiet, and all of a sudden he just busts through something, the door, the window, whatever. He finally breaks in. And essentially, he doesn't care about Allison. He's not looking to get into Allison. Like, she's more or less a hurdle to get to Lori. Like, obviously, he's not just going to brush her off, but he doesn't go after his heart. So he kind of just grabs her, throws her down the stairs, right? And we cut. It's Lori in a bed who's still kind of recovering, and Michael ready to just end this. And at this moment, is that he's walking towards him. We get that really tense moment where like Laurie's not able to move right away and he has his knife up. And then that's when Corey comes back at the last moment and knocks Michael with something heavy that knocks him down the stairs. So he lands next to Allison. Allison kind of gets back up, whatever, tries to run back up and help with Laurie, try to get her out of bed or whatever, because again, she needs help to get out of bed. So, you know, it would make sense that Allison's trying to help. And just as they're about to like get Laurie up, Corey gets stabbed right there on camera. You see just Michael's knife go through him. He kind of falls to the ground. That's the end of Corey. Corey has served his purpose. He saved Laurie for the very last moment. And he kind of built a connection with the family so we actually feel bad for Corey, not just like, oh, he's crazy. Wow. We actually feel bad for him. Like, we feel bad for him. And then Michael then closes in on Lori, who looks helpless, but she gets this final like burst of energy and she like charges him and knocks him down the stairs again. Now, this doesn't kill Michael, obviously, because it's not going to kill Michael, but it makes him lose his knife. Allison grabs the knife, tries to attack, and Michael's fighting back, whatever. And, you know, we get this final fight scene. Allison, I pretty much pitched that Allison's going to get her leg injured, so she can't help with the situation as much. And it's just Michael and Lori, and it says we can have something cheesy say it's time to end this because it's Halloween ends, so we have to have end.
This is Halloween ends. And then they start quitting.
And I'm actually going to agree with Daniel here. For Michael to die, Lori needs to die too.
Yes.
I think that they both need to go down, and that's how this ends. Because she's been the final girl. She has been that person. And I feel like they have connected poorly, but I think they have connected this story with like Sartain in 2018 and everything that's gone on in the franchise, that Michael lives as long as Lori lives. And if both are gone, nobody else can get hurt. Now, that's basically the end of my writing, but a funny thought came to my mind when I was listening to...
You're pulling a Dan thing.
Yes, I'm not going to say this is part of my story, but it came up with Dan talking. There was a part of me that did question if I wanted to keep the love interest between Corey and Allison alive even further, to the point where at the end of the movie, you know, Laurie's dead, Michael's dead, you know, she's visiting her grave, and like Allison grabs her stomach and it turns out that she's pregnant with Corey's baby. And that's how that's how we get Halloween the next that's how we get Halloween the Next Generation. But that's not part of my story. That was just a stupid
literal
thought.
next gen. That is so cheesy. I love that.
But yeah, that's the end of my story. So
I thought of something funny while you were talking. Like, this has nothing to do with your story, but I thought of something funny just to add in real quick. Is that I think another funny horror movie ripoff you could do for this kind of like plot line would be a really stupid version of Silence of the Lambs, where it's just they capture Michael and they're trying to get him to like help with like finding Corey, a new serial killer, and it's just like, yeah, what can you tell us about him? And he just says absolutely nothing. He's just standing there in a jail cell. Anyway.
All right, Michael. This guy's like you. Can you help us?
Just dead silence. But
okay. Anyway,
Colin, I like yours a lot though. It's really good. I like that the journal like investigating type where it's like he got too close to the case and got too obsessed. I like that, you know. I like when cops do that. I like, obviously, Detective Tapp from Saw. I love that. It's a fun plot line to follow, and I find it interesting.
I agree with Dan. I was definitely getting a Tapp vibe. I did like that. I like that tie in there as well. I like that you did definitely use a lot more inspiration from 2018, and you kind of proved your own point in saying 2018 is like your favorite, and this is your least favorite. So you basically worked this into actually being a sequel to 2018, which is nice, isn't it?
Yeah, it's only the fucking point of a trilogy, but whatever.
Yeah.
Other than like one or two minor plot details, I really liked what you did. I liked how it's just almost like Halloween 4 combined with 2018 and taken to the extreme. With like the town going dark, the police trying their damnedest, and then somehow failing. But I mean, we have to have that showdown, don't we? And then Corey dies. Good. Uh,
We all agreed on that too.
Yeah.
Shocker.
I think we both all made Corey almost a different character with a kind of same arc for Michael, and then Corey the die. The Corey is
Corey the
dead.
die.
But I do like that it's an extension of a few parts of the franchise. Basically, it's not the teal blue font.
Yes,
Tits out.
I would also make the font orange as God intended, Jake.
We love orange font. That's
Mhm.
the font that it will be.
Yep.
Yeah, my goal in this whole situation was to make this an ode to the Halloween series because that's what a final movie should do.
I was gonna say, you actually, Colin, your concept basically is what was advertised. That's
Yeah.
basically what Cullen's was.
Wow.
Who could have thought?
So with that being said, we are going to now vote. Since I was the last one to go, I will vote. Jake, you have my vote. I really like the prison idea. I don't like the bombs. I think that it's a blaze of glory for sure, but I think that there should be a showdown. That's my personal opinion, but I appreciate your creativity with the jail. So, yeah.
I'm a Friday the 13th fan. My favorite slasher has been a victim of bombs, so I do appreciate the bombs. And I'm giving it to Jake. I have to. I'm sorry. That was just awesome.
I'm gonna give it. I think I actually like Cullen's the most. I think I'm gonna give it to Cullen because it really feels like a fulfilled like every character. Like I mean, at Jake's does feel like every character does matter, but I also like the decision to kill both Laurie and Michael. I jive with that, and I like the journalist type storyline.
I
Why are
just
you laughing?
I'll
What?
tell you why. Because I like that you're like, I like Collins. I like the decision to kill Laurie and Michael. And meanwhile, Cullen in his own argument goes, yeah, Dan, I'm using a point from your argument where you said to kill Laurie and Michael.
That's true.
We already have politics in the podcast, dear God.
That's funny. But yeah, I'm gonna vote for Cullen's.
All right, so I guess it's my vote, huh? To be honest, I'm torn deeply between Luke's concept of the successor and Cullen's the extension. I am gonna go with Luke's here.
He did it too.
For
Right?
like doing the best with the Corey role. Then there's only one other thing I can say. Cullen, this is a minor plot thing. This could be absolutely ignored, and you can even technically apply this problem to 2018. In that, so first off, Michael has to find a map of Haddonfield. But then after that, how would he find the Strode residence?
It's Michael
'Cause
Myers.
He's Michael Myers.
It's
I
It's
don't know.
okay. Well, with that being said, Jake, you are the official winner of the first ever Better Off Dead or Better Off Undead with your exploding bomb. So congratulations to Jake. Do you agree with our vote? Do you think someone else deserved the win today? I'm going to be releasing a poll for this podcast whenever it is released, and you can vote either on our Instagram, which is sit/HMP, or you can vote on Spotify, which hopefully you're listening to it on here. If not, please, as a reminder, make sure you follow us on Spotify, follow us on YouTube, and follow our Instagram page for all updates and future episodes. And we'll see you in the next episode. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Didn't hear that one, Jake, but good one.
Oh wait, it was too high pitched.
Go ahead, you can go now.
Bye.
No.
All right, see you guys.